Morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? What's up, Bobak? What is going on? What's up, Bino? Appreciate you. Avi, how you doing, man? All right. So, yesterday, pretty sweet day, right? SPY puts, SPX puts went crazy, right? Perfect breakdown from this little wedge that we had here, right? This previous resistance at 418.13, right, acted as a triple top intraday. It was a previous support, was a previous resistance, right? Was a previous resistance, not exactly, but close enough, and previous resistance as well, right? Nicholas said he's been selling option spreads and it's worked out great for you. It's a fantastic strategy. It's a lot easier than day trading, that's for sure. Right? If you haven't already, make sure you check out EK's wheel. It's an amazing, amazing strategy. Way more passive, way less stressful, and it still provides great returns, right? You can average 2 to 10% a month, depending on how risky the plays you take. It's a great strategy. But definitely something to consider for people that aren't the best at day trading. If you want to try something new, it's not a bad idea. Okay. So, SPY today. You need more money for EK's wheel? Yeah, I mean, I would say you need like 10 to 20,000. Depends which place he's taking. What's up, Ricky? What's up, studio? So, SPY, right, we're down 0.4% here in pre-market. We had a huge sell-off yesterday from this wedge. All right, perfect breakdown. Here in pre-market, we're below this resistance that I have highlighted, right? We rejected it once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5, 6 times, right? 6 times we've bounced off this level. Okay, let me just mute that. All right, so now we're back in this range. This is like the worst thing that I did not want this to happen. But we are back in this range. And we could just chop back in this range, right? It can get choppy until we break out of it. What's the minimum amount to start? There's no minimum amount you need. You need to be able to cover 100 shares of a specific stock, right? So if you need to buy 100 shares of this, it's going to be, what, $800 or $8,200, right? But if you buy a stock that's, $114 like Amazon, right, you need to be able to cover 100 shares, right? So that would be 11,400. Right, but if it's a cheap stock, you don't need as much, but you need to be able to cover 100 shares. But really don't like the position that we're in on SPY. Let's take a look at the higher time frame. Let's see what we got here. So, higher time frame, right? This previous resistance is pretty much where we rejected, a little higher. Can put a trend line at the high here now. Right now, we're just back in this range. It's so annoying. There's really no key levels that I'm keeping an eye on. Let's see if we take fibs. Fibs, we're going to be way too high. Let's see, actually. Let's take a fib from this low to this high. We're actually sitting right at the 0.5. Right, so we can use these levels today to look for a bounce. Okay. Right, so from this low from May 4th to the recent high on the 19th. Right, the 0.5 is at 412.23, which is right where we're at here in pre-market. But not really any setup here that I'm looking at open, like this one yesterday. It was a great play at open. Qs. Did I swing? I forgot if I swung a position. Let me check my account. I just have Tesla. But those Q puts would have been solid. They did do very well, but they're at 331 now in pre-market. Great play here as well. Pretty much bought the top. Not much better than that. Here we have a support though at 330.29, which is his previous resistance. Previous resistance acted as support and so on. Thank you for watching, James. I appreciate you. VIX breaking back up to the upside, right? Anytime VIX gets to this range here, we see a huge sell-off pretty much. Did I hold all day yesterday? Pretty much. This daily on Tesla looked ugly. Right, I took calls at close because I like this little chart here. Right, I wanted to see a reversal out of this zone off this previous support. Right, we were kind of like holding right off this previous support, which was a resistance. But once I took a look at the daily, it looked ugly. Very ugly. Right, gravestone candle right into resistance. Ugly chart. So I'm going to sell that at open and cut my loss. Let's see if we could find a setup for open. All right, Netflix. All right, Netflix, we had this great little wedge that we broke. All right, broke out, pulled back, retested, continuation. We saw a nice move to that resistance above. Right, previous resistance acted as resistance, and now we're seeing a pullback. Right, we could take the fibs from the low here to the high. Right, we could use these levels. We could see a move back down to this previous range, 348, but there's just not enough juice. It's not enough room for me to take puts here. I mean, we do have a gap to fill to the downside, but it's not my favorite setup. Let's see if we can find something better. Patella asked Tesla 175 put for next week, possibly. You could, right? But I would wait for a retest, right? The risk to reward here isn't as good as it should be, right? For a better risk to reward, you want to wait for a retest of this level and a rejection. Right, you always should be looking at like what's the best risk to reward. Right, that's how I stay super patient. Right, I'm looking for the best opportunities possible. Right, something that has the most room for my money to go with the least amount of downside to move. Let me know if that makes sense. Amazon's the only thing green here in pre-market based off of a price target, right? 160 from 145. We are above this previous resistance, right? So this previous resistance acted as a support perfectly, and now we're within. Excuse me. Oh, I had to sneeze. Sorry about that. Now we're within this flag, right? Higher lows, lower highs. Overall market's weak though, right? Overall market's weak. So I really don't want to take any upside here, right? As the overall market's going to hold it back. But we need to keep an eye on this, right? If it can hold this 114 level, I really like it for a potential swing to the upside. But again, not really looking at this at open. Coin, don't really like this setup. Nvidia broke this flag down to 302 in pre-market, kind of in no man's land here. Need to wait for either a retest or a breakdown. Not liking that either. AMD. It's like two. Nothing really going on here either. All right, we kind of have this rising wedge. Had a little fake move to the upside and a pullback. This doesn't look too bad, actually. All right, we can use this resistance. If we see a move to the upside and a rejection around... Actually, I'm going to use this level instead. Around that level there. You know, that's not too bad. Oh, Nvidia has earnings tomorrow? Oh, yeah. Nvidia's earnings tomorrow, so I definitely don't want to touch it. AMD looks pretty, pretty decent for a downside move, as long as we can reject this 108.79 level. But Nvidia has earnings tomorrow, so that's 100% going to affect AMD. All right, we could definitely see a move back down to this previous resistance. Right, that's typically what will happen when there's a major resistance like this previously and a rising wedge above it. You'll typically see a retest of the highs here and a move right back down. AMD Gravestone. Oh yeah, look at that candle. So it's pretty interesting. Maybe we'll keep an eye on this. This is the best looking chart so far, AMD. And what we want to see ideally, right, is a move to the upside and a rejection, either at this resistance or at this resistance. Right, and then if we can't break through this 107.15 level, right, which is this previous support, we bounced off of it again with a higher low. Right, then, that's another strong point for a potential entry. Okay. So AMD looks pretty decent. Boeing flag breakdown. Boeing's terrible to trade. No chance I'm trading that. Meta, nothing. Google, nothing. BABA. I mean, we're approaching this triple bottom. That's about it, though. Nothing really here. All right, we're approaching this bottom here. Apple's been weak. All right, I'll just chart out the major levels here. All right, 170.42, which we're below here in pre-market. Then we have this previous resistance, 168. Nothing really going on here. No setup. There's no actionable setup here. Rivian, no. Let's see, Microsoft, I don't really like trading. Just moves too slow. Let's see. That's really it. The only thing I like is AMD. Amazon maybe. Let's see. This is what I'll do. I'll just flip through quickly, see if anything else catches my eye, and that's it. Q's already at this previous support. SPY in this range, which is brutal for everyone. Let's take a look at snow since a bunch of you asked me. All right, so snow has this previous resistance. Right, we're at 173.5 here in pre-market. We are below this previous support though. Right, we bounced 3 times or twice and then fell through. But there's really like no setup here. All right, we do have the lower high. All right, we kind of have this bottom here. All right, but we broke down. Can I check out GM? Let's take a look. I don't really like trading any of these other names. I pretty much just stick to mega caps. All right, but this, right, bunch of rejections at this white resistance. Right, nice breakout yesterday. Pullback, it's retesting this previous resistance. Right, so it needs to hold this resistance as a new support for continuation. HD, let's take a look. You think it's flagging? I'll let you know if it is. So it's not flagging, but let's see. All right, we have this previous resistance. We broke out, a little pullback, but there's really nothing going on here. All right, we do have these lower highs, but it's nothing special, right? If you want an entry level, right, this previous double top you need to break, 295.76. What's the level for AMD puts? Ideally, I want to see either a retest of 107.15 or a move through that to 108.79. That's going to give us the best risk to reward. Okay. Yeah, definitely join, man. You know, we're a team. I love it. It's worth it, brother. Definitely worth it. The best part of being in a community that's like active, like we are, is that there's always charts and ideas being thrown out, right? And you'll always catch, you know, the next setup that there is. That's like my favorite part of being in an active community, right? It's not the alerts. It's seeing all the other setups and seeing other people's strategies. That's my favorite part, right? If you could be a part of another community for, you know, X amount a month for an opportunity to you know, make hundreds or thousands a month, it's absolutely worth it, right? Everything has an expense to it. Everything. Right? Going to the grocery store is an expense. Right? You gotta pay gas. You gotta get there somehow. Right? Trading has a cost. Right? And if you want to be a good trader, you gotta be part of a good community. Let's take a look at XOM. So, right, whoops, that ain't the right trend. All right, so I broke this resistance. We consolidated underneath, created this double top. Right, we have these higher lows in place, and we're seeing a nice little pullback. This double top needs to hold here for continuation. Okay. Um, take a look at this for a second. Yeah, I mean, Amazon looks fine. And AMD is my favorite, I think, here pre-market. Appreciate that, Anton. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, shoot your shot. I mean, this is your time every single morning to ask me whatever you want. All right, is today Wednesday? Yeah, today's Wednesday. I typically don't like to trade on Wednesdays. I'll typically be less active. It typically just chops. So what I'll do probably is if this doesn't play out how I want it, I'll probably just, move on and do something else today. It's typically what I do on Wednesdays. If it's nice out today, let's see. What's the weather? All right, this is why I love trading, because you could do what you want. So it's gonna rain. Oh no, it's gonna be nice out actually. 75 degrees, baby. Mara? Let's take a look at Mara. Oops. FOMC at 2 p.m. today. Let's see what events we got. I'll pull up the calendar for everyone. So today's Wednesday. There is no FO. Oh, the minutes is today. But that's at 2 p.m. Yellen speaks in 41 minutes. I'll pull this chart up here quickly. All right, here's the chart. I can move this thing. All right, so we got Yellen speaking in 41 minutes. Crude oil at 10:30. And then the minutes at 2 o'clock. Post it in the Discord. Just posted it in Market Talk if you wanted to save it or take a look. mRNA. What range am I looking for a SPY to break to the downside? I'll take a look. So I really don't like trading these healthcare stocks. Right, I'm sure they had news yesterday. Upbeat data on protein replacement. Yeah, like this. I don't like trading these because it's just so news traded. But I mean, if it can break the high, you could try and play a continuation play here. What does the minutes tell you? It's a record of like the policy setting meeting about 3 weeks earlier. Right, it's like detailed insights regarding the Fed's stance on monetary policy. Right, so traders will, examine them for clues regarding the outcome of future interest rate decisions. But it's pretty much algo based, right? Which is why when the minutes drop at 2 p.m., you'll see an instant reaction, right? Because hedge funds and institutions, they have algorithms that will scan the entire thing and within 2 seconds and place trades based on the information. It's pretty stupid if you ask me. But yeah. If everyone could drop a like on the video, I would appreciate it. 3 minutes to market open. So this is the only thing I'm going to be watching. SPY, we're in a range, right? There's no setup here for me on SPY. Right, no setup here on SPY. So the only thing I'm going to be watching is AMD. AMD for puts is the only setup I like. Right, on a retest here. Other than that, it's probably going to be a low activity day. Right, if you're in the Discord and you don't see me posting, this is your warning. This is the signal. Right, there's really no setups, right? You don't need to trade every day. Cash is a position. Day trading is not trading every day, right? It's trading when there's an actionable setup present. Okay. On that note, I'm going to head out. Please drop a like on the video if you've learned something or if you've enjoyed your time.